Hello, hello, everyone. Thanks for hopping on to our call today. My name's Matthew, and today we're going to be talking about certificates. So, if you have purchased a certificate or if you've been curious about certificates, how to purchase them, how to redeem them, you are on the right call, my friend. We're going to get started here in just about 2 minutes. Uh, Say hello in the chat. We'll get started here in just a moment. All right, we have just a few more seconds until we get started. Love to see people joining from all over the US. Anyone international joining? Hey, Shar, good to see you. Thanks for hopping on. Excellent. All right, I want to make the most out of our time and I want to get you back to your life as well. So it is right on the dot, 11 a.m. Pacific, 2 p.m. Eastern. Let's get started. All right, now right before I dive into those certificates, I want to do a quick reminder that many of you probably already know, we have switched over to a new booking engine. So I just want to remind everyone to use your travel points from the old booking engine. Please get in there, claim those points, book that travel from the old booking engine so we can swap over to the new one 100%. Please try to book and use those travel points by July 31st. All right, you're going to be hearing a little more information. We're going to keep shouting that date out. July 31st. We want you to go into that old booking engine and utilize those travel points. Sound good? All right. Let's get into the real reason we are here, and that is to talk about those certificates. Now, the certificates are offered in a few denominations. It'll be the same for each denomination. And on today's call, just for the sake of example, we are going to talk about the $200 certificate. Now, this is a certificate that will give you $100 toward a hotel and $100 toward dining. All right. On today's call, we're going to talk about what those certificates include. We're going to run through the purchase and activation process. We're going to talk about redeeming those certificates, maximizing your total value. And then, of course, I'm going to run you through some important terms and conditions that you can keep in mind when purchasing and redeeming. All right. The goal is to just save some money, right? We're spending $15 for this $200 certificate. That's why we're here. We're here to save money, right? Make the most out of it. So let's dive in. On those certificates, when you purchase that value, you're going to get half of that value towards a hotel, and you're going to get half of that value towards dining. All right. And again, we are talking about the $200 certificate specifically. So it's $200 value for 15 bucks. Now, what I want you to do is I want you to think of these certificates as a savings bank, not a coupon. It's going to create a savings balance in the hotel portal, and it's going to create a savings balance in the restaurant portal. You can apply those balances toward your hotel reservations or restaurant offers. And of course, the more you use it, the more you're going to save. Here's a little example. So for that $200 certificate, if we look at the $100 in the restaurant portal, you may find a great deal where you can apply $35 savings. So it's going to remove $35 from that balance, and you're going to have $65 left in there to apply at a future time. Now, if you joined us in Colorado, you'll know that with that new booking engine, and the booking engine has access to tons of hotels. We're talking a million plus hotels and resorts, global access. There's no minimum stay to cash out those rewards. And many of these are super familiar brands, likely places that you're already staying or eating. Now you're just going to save when you do. I'm going to pause for a moment. I see a question. Yes, Shar, we will have that recording available. Follow up with me later. Okay, redemption. All right. I think y'all are going to love this. Let me pause for a moment. And I actually did a small recording of that redemption process, and I'm going to show it to you right now. Check this out. You'll see I purchased the certificate and I got this email. Simply click redeem offer. It'll have me put in my information. We're going to activate the offer now. Quickly fill in our information. We're going to check out those terms and conditions and agree to those. Now here, it's going to give you all the ins and outs, all that fine print, but don't worry, this will also be emailed to you, and you'll see that in just a moment. We're going to grab that redemption code. This is me just reading a little bit. Agree to the terms. My account is set up and it sends me an email. So we're going to go into my email and grab that information. Here are all those terms that were emailed to me. We're going to confirm. And boom, you'll see the $100 for my hotel is already added to my savings bank right there. And I can continue to book below. All right, let's go set up the restaurant portion. Sends a login code to my email. We'll throw that in. And boom, you'll see those points were loaded, and it'll show me which restaurants in my area and how much I can apply. So all in all, it took me about 5 minutes to redeem that in. And then boom, I have access to that savings immediately. So let's talk. Actually, I'm going to pause for a moment. Do you have any questions on that? Let's see. All right, I see. How long did it take for you to receive the emails to set these two sections up? Looking for an anticipated time frame to do the entire process. Great question. On my end, they came through immediately. Immediately. Now, I will say that I have heard from some people that if you don't see it in your email right away, check your spam folders. All right. Mine came through, I would say, 120 seconds or less from when I purchased it. All right. Oh, I'm hearing people said they couldn't see my screen. Can anyone confirm? Did you see the video that I showed? The video of redemption. Great. I'm seeing a yes. All right. This will be on a recording, and we will share the video as well for you to see it. So let's talk about a few little fine print details that you're going to want to know when setting this up. So for the hotel specifically, can I use it all at once? Heck yeah, you can. As long as the available savings meet or exceed your balance, you can use the full amount. Boom. Can you use it across multiple trips? Absolutely. The great thing about this is that it creates a little bank. So any funds that you do not use in a single purchase will be sitting there waiting until you can use them the next time. Can you stack codes? Yes, you can add multiple codes to increase your overall savings balance. Right? Okay, some small restrictions that you're going to want to be aware of. Once you book, a lot of these places don't allow you to modify it afterwards. Now, you're going to want to check the specific hotel to check out their cancellation policies because they will vary from hotel to hotel. Same with the cancellation fees. Some hotels charge them, some do not. You're going to want to look into that specific hotel to better understand what their policies are. The savings that you can get at each hotel is going to depend on availability. Certain seasons, certain rooms may or may not have applicable savings. The system will tell you before purchase. Obviously, it's at participating properties only. If the property's in the site, they're participating. If they're not on the site, they're not participating. It's as easy as that. All right. And of course, savings will vary by property. Some properties will allow you to apply more or less savings. But again, that information will be clear before you make the purchase and book that hotel. Let's talk the dining savings. This is great because there's almost 200,000 dining deals, national and local chains. What you saw on the video were just the chains that are local to me in Phoenix because I had it set to my address, but you can search all over for the savings. Some of the dining fine print that you're going to want to be aware of. Many of them have minimum purchase requirements. Okay, and that will be clear on the site before you apply what those minimum purchase requirements are. So it won't be a secret. It shouldn't be a surprise. The system clearly will show you. Now, these savings are for dine-in only offers. All right, I know many of us are using DoorDash, things like that. These wouldn't be applicable to delivery services or to go. Many of them are for dine-in only. All right. And some of them do have specifics on dates and times. Again, that'll be clear before you make the purchase with that restaurant on what their restrictions are. Okay. Some of them also may include gratuity requirements. Not all of them, but some of them. And again, that'll be made very clear on the site what those restrictions are before you select that restaurant. All right. Can I share this with somebody? Can I give it as a gift? Yes. But, huge but, you can gift it before you activate it. The video I showed you was me activating it. Once it's activated and it's in your name, it's yours. That person that activated it must be the one who is initiating the redemption. Okay, because once it's activated, it is locked. You saw all that personal information that I had listed in there. That was my personal information, my address, my phone number. Once that's in there, it's mine. I can't share it. Unless I simply want to take my friend out to eat or go to a hotel with my friend. But then again, I would be booking it or I would be initiating that purchase. I see a question. Have you used the dining certificate at restaurants other than fast food chains? Yes, I have. There's a really good one here in Scottsdale, Arizona called Society Swan. Beautiful restaurant. Great for date night if you're ever in Arizona. And that's been where I've used it so far. Yep. All right. How do you spend the restaurant points? Do they send you a card or something? No, they don't. It's all done digitally. I'll share that video again so you can have a view of that that site where you apply it. It's all done digitally. Yes, you can gift these before activation. All right. Some best practices. These are my personal best practices from getting the certificate personally. I would compare hotel options and savings amounts before booking. All right. If you're going to Las Vegas, all right, I would personally look at a few different hotels, see which one is the biggest bang for my buck. Okay. Compare those options before you book. Activate only when you're ready to use the benefit. All right. I saw somebody earlier in the chat talk about an expiry date. Yes, they do expire once they're activated. Yes, do some pre planning for your trip. Yep, do some pre planning for your meal. If you're going out to a restaurant, if it's going to save you a little bit of money, it'll be worth that little bit of extra research. And then finally, check restaurant.com before planning your next date night. All right. I love that because, like I said, these are places you're already likely going to. Now you can just save a little money while going, right? All right. I'm going to stop sharing my screen. I promise you, the certificates are a lot easier, I think, than some people realize. It does take you, I would say, about 5 minutes to activate both. And then once they're activated, super quick, find that restaurant, find that hotel. You're probably already searching hotels or restaurants if you're pre planning, and do a little research and see which one is going to fit your budget, which one will allow you to apply the most savings. And again, remember that if you don't utilize the full amount in one trip, it banks for you to use later. One last thing that I want to share with you regarding the restaurant side of the certificate specifically. The restaurant is going to apply $25 worth of that certificate per month. So when you first redeem it, you're going to see $25 in there. Don't worry, your full amount is coming. They give it to you in $25 increments. Okay, so if you're getting the $100 one, that full $100 will be fulfilled in 4 months. All right, and that's all listed in that fine print that they send you in an email. Just in case you're one of those people that doesn't always eyeball that fine print, I wanted to make sure you were in the know. All right. Well, great. This meeting was recorded, so we'll make sure that we get this out to those who joined late or who wanted to review the information. I appreciate you so much. Y'all have a fabulous Friday. We'll see you next month on the third Friday of the month, 2 p.m. Bye, everyone.